Well, more than a year after a violent murder, a family has a small piece of justice.
One of the people involved just convicted, new at 6. Stephen Hernandez was in the courtroom, even spoke to the victim's mother when the verdict came down.
And sworn, find the defendant Aviante T. Atterbury guilty of aggravated murder as charged in the indictment.
This was the moment the jury shared their decision and Aviante Atterbury learned his fate. Atterbury, who was 20 at the time of his arrest, was found guilty of aggravated murder in the shooting death of 20-year-old William James Sheffy Jr. Sheffy's mother, Tiffany Phillips, was also present at the Lake County Court of Common Pleas today, feeling a mix of emotions.
I feel a little comforted, just a little. I'm getting satisfied slowly but surely.
According to Painesville Police, Sheffy Jr. was shot around 8 p.m. on June 7th of 2025 in the driver's seat of a car on the corner of North State Street and Rockwood Drive. Atterbury was arrested a month later alongside Xavier Jackson, Solomon Gaston, and Avion Gaines. Atterbury faced 20 different charges, including 2 separate charges each for murder and aggravated murder. Today, he was found guilty of all charges. But the legal process isn't over just yet. Xavier Jackson's trial also continued today, where they listened to the testimony from Painesville police officers that responded to the scene of the crime. Atterbury's sentencing is set for Monday, August 10th, and Phillips plans to be there.
Justice is being served, like I said.
In Painesville, Stephen Hernandez, 19 News.